Hello.
Outer Banks may look serious on the surface, but what about when the cast was filming the series? Was it all stern faces and high-end drama, or did they have a total blast and make fools of themselves?
Oh, bitch! Oh, this is slippery.
When it comes to TV shows, Outer Banks isn't a sitcom. While there is some comedy injected into the series, it's not about slapstick gags and laugh-a-minute jokes. That was never what the story was supposed to be about. It's a coming-of-age drama, and that's why we love it. That's not to say that it's all doom and gloom on the set, though. After all, the actors are only human, and they like a giggle just as much as we do. Madelyn Cline plays Sarah in the show, but she's no stranger to putting her foot in her mouth and messing up lines. Is she a professional? Absolutely. But when it comes to making mistakes and laughing at herself, she's the best of the best. It doesn't even matter that she makes the same boo-boo several times in this clip, because her co-star Chase Stokes clearly finds it hilarious too. Her castmates wouldn't have her any other way. Wouldn't life be boring otherwise? As for Madison Bailey, well, she's proved that she's not just one of the guys in the show. Her character might like to goof around with the boys, but so does she. In fact, when it comes to messing around in front of the camera and making fun of herself, Madison is the first one there.
Banana!
While some other actresses keep their social media for sultry snaps, the 21-year-old starlet often posts hilarious snippets. She doesn't take herself seriously in the slightest, which is probably why she's so popular among her castmates. As for her on-set antics, well, let's just say that Madison can really pick her moment. The actress is able to save the fun until after her job is done for the most part though, which is how she plays the part of ocean-loving Kiara so well. As for her co-stars, Madison has a lot to say about her relationship with them. In an interview with The Wrap, she couldn't stop gushing about them, saying, "All the boys feel like my brothers, for sure. I grew up with 3 brothers, so it's that kind of bond." Madison also went on to recall a moment while she was filming on the water, saying, "It was a moment that I definitely reflected on, like, wow, this is really my job." Getting all tripped up and tongue-tied is something that most actors can relate to. They might practice a line a million times without fail, but when it comes to shooting it, everything goes out of the window. Just like Madison Bailey, Jonathan Davis tends to trip over his lines every now and then. Although you try saying this a million times and see what the outcome is.
I'll strip the northwest quadrant, east the north-south quadrant, please.
It's like trying to say Peter Piper picked a pepper over and over again until the end of time. It never works out well. What's more hilarious, Jonathan stumbling for his line here, or Rudy Pankow's reaction to it? Clearly these guys really vibe with each other and enjoy working together, which might be why they're constantly laughing and giggling. When you work with your buddies, everything goes out of the window. Rudy is always one of the quickest to crack up on set. It really doesn't take much to set him off. Acting alongside him must be like working with a human minefield. Considering how Rudy plays JJ, aka a kid with a lot of emotional trauma, he probably needs to goof off every now and then to stay sane. He's no stranger to a magic trick either. Is there anything this guy can't do? Have you ever wondered why the cast of Outer Banks are a lot older than they're supposed to be? The Pogs and the Kooks should be about 16 years old, but the actors are way longer in the tooth than that, with most of them in their early 20s. The producers purposely hired cast members that were over the age of 18 for a very specific reason. If you hire minors, then they have to have on-set tutors and still focus on their schoolwork, which can slow things down. But what they probably didn't bet on was all of them being about as mature as kindergartners. Seriously, fry fangs, guys? That bit got old in 2000. Of course, there's always the occasional fart joke too, and that just can't be left to float by in peace. Apparently, Madelyn didn't get the memo that leather couches tend to make strange noises when you scoot on them too fast.
Oh.
We can't really blame them for this one. Fart jokes are always funny. We've taken a quick look at some of the hilarious mistakes of some of the actors, but what about our main man? Chase Stokes plays John B., the tortured Pog who just wants to find out where his dad disappeared to. That being said, his scenes are among some of the heaviest moments that the show has to offer. He's always brooding and fighting with Sarah, especially in the beginning. As it turns out, constantly being switched on in drama mode can be a little bit distracting when you're trying to keep a serious face on. It doesn't always work out well. When Chase and Madelyn are facing off against each other, they often break down into laughter, even if it's not about strange sounds. They just can't help it. It might surprise fans to know that Chase is a pretty laid-back dude that often posts some hilarious snaps to his Instagram page. Madison Bailey isn't the only one that likes to dig for gold, apparently. Do these two realize that they're supposed to be finding treasure and not boogies? Followers of the 27-year-old are often treated to little behind-the-scenes snippets from filming the show, much to their delight. What have we learned from these little sneak peeks? That Chase likes to joke with his stunt double and is easily easily distracted. In an interview with Nylon, Chase explained that the cast is super friendly in real life, which might explain why they're always struggling to keep straight faces. He said, "I lived with Rudy and Jonathan, and Austin, who plays Topper, lived a couple of doors down. Maddie lived on the floor below us. On the weekends, everybody would come over, play games, blast music, eat food. We had a lot of time collectively as a cast. It was kind of this natural, organic thing for everybody." It's not just our main cast that are prone to the odd blooper or two either. Fans of ABC's Nashville might recognize Sarah's dad. Charles Easton played the popular character of Deacon Claiborne on the series throughout the show's entire run, so seeing him pop up as Ward Cameron was a welcome surprise. Although Ward is largely shady and serious, Charles is prone to a joke or two and making the younger cast members laugh. It's hardly surprising as the actor is a born entertainer. He can do dramatic roles with the best of them, but is also a great singer. When he's not gracing the stage at the Grand Ole Opry, he's sharing snaps of his friends, family, and dogs smiling from ear to ear. Wouldn't it be nice if we could all have coworkers like this? You might think the older, more experienced actors in the show would have been in the industry long enough to keep it together while the cameras are rolling. That's just not the case. No matter how long you've been an actor, messing up your lines continues to be hilarious. It doesn't matter if you're playing a sheriff or someone's dad, it's one of the best parts of the job. Working without having fun is awful no matter what you do, and it's the same for actors. Although they seem to turn it up to 10. They can throw their lines just like everyone else, but everyone else can actually throw to save their lives. Aside from forgetting what they're supposed to say or getting confused mid-take, there's another big aspect to shooting a scene that can go south. Not only do the cast have to make sure they remember their lines, they also need to hit the mark and carry out tasks their characters are doing at the same time. Bless their hearts, it's often too much for most of them. Throwing and catching can be difficult at the best of times, but factor in all the other stuff they're supposed to do and it's clear that multitasking isn't their strong suit. Maybe that's because they just love playing directors so much and starting scenes over again. It certainly seems like these guys love playing with the slate board. Maybe these guys don't really need to make mistakes as much as they do. They just do it on purpose so they get to play with the shiny toy again. Don't act like you wouldn't want a shot at it if you were in their shoes. Acting is great, but being a director, that's the best job ever, especially when you're working with a bunch of goofs as talented as this.